a las 10 de la noche, aquí en Cubaocho, otro ticket. Un ticket a las 10 de la noche, el lugar vacío. El lugar cerrado, vacío, sin nadie. Yo solo, sentado fumándome un tabaco. Mira esto, ven para que veas esto, mira. Mira. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 carros de policía. 7 carros de policía a las 10 de la noche en la calle 8 poniéndome un ticket por fumarme un tabaco yo solo, tranquilo, con un amigo. Un ticket, aquí está. El city manager y el alcalde y no sé qué, y toda la policía le dice, le echa la culpa al alcalde. Dice que es el alcalde y otro alcalde. Ahora, yo que llevo 7 meses cerrado, sin pagar mi renta, sin poder pagar mis biles, y muriéndome de hambre, y vienen a ponerme una multa por fumarme un tabaco tranquilo y solo en mi negocio. Esto es tremendísimo abuso.
Right now, I want you to know that all of you are the foundation upon which the movement for human liberty is built and the very engine that drives it. You are the power.
Talking about an armed invasion of a building that is secured by the Secret Service. This is a whole thing that you're proposing what would start a small war in whatever city you're choosing. Like, Cleveland would become a battleground and a lot of people would die. And I still wouldn't end up on the debate stage, nor would Joe. We'd probably end up dead.
This is like the most fake looking photo.
We're not just another party. We're not just a lesser of 3 evils instead of 2 evils. We're not just a new set of politicians to vote for. We're a completely different way of looking at things. We're a completely different way of looking at how government should interact with people.
We're supposed to be hosting a rally and a salsa dance tonight in Old Havana. Trump and Biden are both in town. They're hosting town halls and they get to do what they want. But the police, the Gestapo, have shut down the one block where we're supposed to be hosting our rally this evening. And they specifically targeted the 5 clubs on the block where we're supposed to be at today and have shut them down for 24 hours. From 12 o'clock afternoon today to 12 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, just conveniently while we're supposed to be there.
Club Space, Miami, downtown, they opened up this weekend for the first time, so I'm surprised to hear that they're shutting down 8th Street for a little while, actually.
The unfortunate thing is the business was looking forward to having us there. They're starving.
Yeah.
The belief of the people who have organized it is that one of the people who we tried to get a bid from to host our events and who presented an absolutely absurd price tag, his was the only establishment that wasn't shut down last night of all the ones that we reached out to. All the other ones were.
As you can see, closed. I just watched them issue tickets to somebody around the corner for a noise variance.
So they're just being
they're just and yeah, they're kicking everybody out.
This is because Trump and Biden are here.
Probably. Yeah.
The camera.
Let's do some resolution shit.
Let's do some.
Here we go.
The power! You are the power! You are the power!
Ready to go. You ready? Calle Ocho! Who's ready for a revolution? Who here is sick and tired of living under a government that presumes the authority to tell you whether or not you're essential? Who here is sick and tired of being told whether or not you should be able to go outside, whether or not you should be able to operate your business like what they're putting Roberto through, whether or not you should be able to work to provide for your families, whether or not you should be able to return to something normal because of an imposed lockdown that even the World Health Organization has said has failed to do anything other than make your lives more difficult? Who here is ready to take back the power?
There's a crisis, and the crisis oftentimes is propagated by government.
This is what happens when you start winning. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. This is fighting us. This is the first step to winning. Who here is ready to take every bit of the power and the freedom and the wealth that they stole from you back and put it back in your hands where it always damn well belonged?
I'm Jorgensen, and I approve this message.
So both of my sources of income have been completely destroyed.
Yep.
What do I get in return? A stimulus check made out of fake money. I don't want that.
Yep.
I do not want that.
About $16,000 to $17,000 they stole from you with the stroke of a pen. You got 1,200 of that. The rest of that, the other 15,000, 16,000 that went out, that went to big crony corporations that bought and paid for the politicians who signed off on that thing, including the president, and it went to big government agencies at the federal and state levels. And what did they do with that money? They enforced things even worse on you. They made sure that you couldn't go out and make a living. They made sure that Roberto couldn't open his business. He fled Cuba with the caravans that came here in the 1980s to escape tyranny in Cuba. How horrific is it that a man who had to suffer under a dictatorship has been told for the last 7 months that he's not allowed to open his business? How insane is it that someone who escaped here to get away from a dictatorship and to get to the American dream was fined and told to shut down by 7 police cruisers who showed up because he was in his own bar with no one else there, not wearing a mask? That is a government that presumes the authority to control every single aspect of your life.
It's beyond Republican and Democrat. It's the power. It's the power that they have, that the government has, that they're using over us. And it's time to stop.
We are fighting for the recognition that you do best when you are most free, that you know better than these idiots who often haven't even run a real job or run a real business in their whole lives. That you know better than these people that are under direction of multi-billionaire cronies who have a vested interest in making your life more difficult. We've been living under a soft version of the purge for months now. And now the WHO is finally admitting to that. So I guess now they'll get to be told that they hate people's grandparents and that they're anti-science. Because that's what we've been hearing for months. Well, we've been saying that this virus should be taken seriously, that we should take appropriate countermeasures to keep ourselves and our loved ones safe, but that you can't shut down everything. You can't destroy everyone's life in order to save it. Libertarians believe that when people try to harm each other or tell them how to live or try to take from them, that's an act of aggression. We recognize that as being not only wrong from a moral standpoint, that you shouldn't rob people and take their stuff. It doesn't work. If I can rob all of you whenever I see fit, if I can order you around whenever I want to, there is absolutely no reason for me to give you any value. We are running for nothing less than a world set free, an America set free, an America with its chains removed in our time. And let's be clear, our time is now. So one of the biggest misconceptions about the Libertarian Party is that we don't care about others. Just the opposite is true. We want to help others. I have been involved in libertarian campaigns where we've actually gone and illegally fed homeless people and dared the police to come and arrest us. We want people to get the help they need, and we recognize that this government is simply creating need and not actually helping people. This model has failed us.
Okay, cool. No, I don't disagree with you. It's just that we got.
But the reason that one of the reasons he's here is because of that conversation that Roberto's having right now.
Yep.
And that's something that he can address. I mean,
all right,
it's embarrassing.
Here's what you're hearing in the background. You are hearing a man whose life is being destroyed by government. He came here from Cuba to escape tyranny, and for the last 7 months he has been told by the Miami government that he can't operate his business. He's losing everything. He has spent, I don't know how many years and decades he has spent putting this business together.
He's an institution.
He has created an institution.
He is an institution here in Miami.
And it's being destroyed by people who don't care. They would just as soon he be reliant on them for his basic needs. They don't care that they're ruining his livelihood, everything he has worked to build. They don't care. He is now facing the very thing that he fled to get away from 40 years ago. And this is what you're hearing. This is what we're trying to fight against. This is what we're trying to end. This is the exasperation of a man who's been fighting for decades and is losing everything because someone wrote on a sheet of paper that he's not allowed to be able to work.
Right. Or be open for the public.
Yeah, for their safety. Even though we can be in here with masks in a safe way, socially distancing, harming no one, and instead they tell them, no, you just have to go out of business.
Yeah.
And if you lose everything, that's fine. We're fighting for people like you. This needs to end.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I am sorry. Lo siento. We're going to end this, okay? Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you, sir. Have a good night. Ready? Yep. Let's go. Everybody, here we go. Okay. I'm Spike Cohen, and you are the Rally! Labor and the product of your labor, which is your property. You are the power.
If we want to push it to the very envelope and then back off short of getting booked or getting a ticket, I just need to know where that threshold is at.
If I thought that getting arrested would be impactful, I would say let's do something with the eye of getting arrested. I have done a lot of research into what happened to people like Jill Stein and stuff when they got arrested. No one covered it, they got arrested, it made it harder for them to complete the rest of their campaigning, and it just made their lives difficult for no good reason. It didn't actually affect anything. And it got other people arrested as a result too. If I thought that that would be impactful and get attention and be able to get the message out there, that would be one thing. But to get you and me and LeQuinn and other people that show up arrested, and all it does is ruin our weekend and make it where we can't do the stuff we want to do elsewhere, and it doesn't get any media attention because everyone's talking about other stuff, then I don't think that that's good.
So, how's it going, Adam?
Oh, it's going well. Just having a little bit of leftovers already.
Just palming some rice?
Mm-hmm. Got palming some rice on a clear little lid.
Good speech, good fiery speech. All the stuff you were talking about was such a huge difference in the past vice presidents we've had. And current.
The last one would have been like, vote for Hillary.
And current too. We needed an end count desperately.
Yes.
As our VP.
I'm not here for factions. That's why so many of the factions respected me, is because I'm not here to just grow one over the other. I'm here to recognize that we're talking about fighting a Leviathan that doesn't give a shit about any of us. So for us to get into an argument about what a post-state society is going to look like vis-a-vis the stickiness of property ownership, what the f are we talking about? Like, they're running up $5 trillion in debt this year, and we're talking about this? Like, let's work that out when we get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Or when we're headed there, at least.
Did you know my first name?
It's on the ballot.
It's on the ballot.
Oh, that's why.
That's a fair point.
Jeremiah Cohen, that's the Spike, Jeremiah Spikel.
Demetrius.
Is it really Spike?
I'm glad you shortened it.
No, I'm glad.
Yeah, the ballot would have been weird.
Was that Spike?
Say that again.
I have a voluptuous wife. Bosomy.
Your name was Diane. Yvonne, you said Yvonne?
I don't feel comfortable saying anything else.
Okay. Well, I seen when
Bosomy. I have a voluptuous wife, as I said earlier.
Is she, would you say?
Bosomy.
Bosomy.
Bosomy. A bosomy wife, yeah. She is with bosom.
She is with great bosom.
With great bosom. Hey, man, I want everyone to express pride in me in this moment.
Done.
Thank you for validation, because I signed it's like 100 of these last night, and I didn't just sign it. I wrote "You are the power" and then signed it, and it took.
And you now have carpal tunnel.
My hand definitely felt it last night. That's correct. And my wrist.
So that's what you're doing at what time?
Gosh, at 4:30 in the morning, I think.
That would get me. Spike, what are you gonna do if they try to arrest you tonight?
Donkey kick and run, man.
Are you just gonna donkey kick and run?
No, you gotta say it too. It doesn't count.
Let them know. Hey. Oh, there we go.
That's for you.
Wonder why it got shut down.
Yeah.
And party.
Well, I don't know what any of that means.
Bosomy.
Is that a curse word?
With bosom.
Oh, bosom E.
With great bosom.
With great bosom. I forgot about that.
Bosomy.
Well, that's the place I was telling you.
Trademark.
Of bosom.
If you keep repeating
Yes, bosom.
It gets better.
That is the adjective.
Bosom.
You have to do the politician.
Of great bosom.
Now, if this was your stump speech.
The money,
folks. Big Bosom wants you to think that you can't be bosomly. They want you to be desperate. They want you to stuff your bra. They want you to think that you can't be of great bosom.
But
Miami to Cubaocho to freedom.